Okay, so I think I might need to move my back. That's a bit better. So we're gonna come into a pose called Crocodile, and this is a backward bend. If you're pregnant, because you're going to be right flat on your belly, you're not going to want to do this unless it's very early pregnancy. Any lower back issues, be very gentle with this, really gentle, and just come into the version that is right for you. Now there's a more dynamic version of Crocodile, and there's an easier one where the arms are like that, and there's a harder version that's slightly lifting more, curving more into your spine, where your arms are going to be together, elbows are together, hands are head is resting in the hands. I used to lie on my belly and watch Top of the Pops like that when I was a kid, so you'll probably recognise that pose from when you were younger. Now, make sure that the version that you come into is the one that is best for you. So, this is good because this is going to work into low back. So, you obviously have got a natural curve in your back. And because at the same time you're lying on your belly, you're actually working into the digestive system at the same time. So, you're massaging the digestive system as well as giving that gentle backward bend into the back. So, you're going to come towards the back of your mat, and your feet are going to be about the width of the mat apart. Lie yourself down on the belly, lift the pelvis up and then just sink it back down again. So the easier version, you're going to bring one forearm in front of the other. Hopefully you can see that my chest, I've got a space here between my armpit and the floor. So I'm going to adjust myself, have a shuffle of my hips just to make sure they're comfortable. Top of the feet are flat to the floor, and I'm just literally going to rest my head onto my forearm. So I've adjusted my elbow, so that has become a nice easy relaxation pose for me now. So that is very gentle, very gentle in the back. So this is the resting version of Crocodile. Now if you feel as if the knees aren't feeling right, you can turn the knees towards each other. If you can see what I'm doing with my feet, I'm turning my toes so they're facing towards each other. So I've made my knees not kneed, basically. And then I can come back into that. And if I start to focus on my deep breathing, I can feel the breath coming into my belly. I don't know if you can see that, but as I breathe in, you might see a very slight lift in my back as I'm breathing into my belly. So I'm massaging into my belly. Now, if you want to come into the more dynamic version of this, you'd begin to walk up onto your elbows, and then you'd start to walk the elbows towards each other. So you're bringing the elbows in so they're tucking underneath the chest. You might need to adjust them. Move the elbows so the head will comfortably rest into the hands. Take a deep breath in and relax everything. Now, I can feel that twinging immediately because I've got bulging discs and herniated discs in my lower back, so I know I shouldn't really be doing that, which is why I'm going to come straight out of it. So, I'm going to come here. Now that feels much better. So, if you have any problems like I have, use your common sense and do not. I was alright to come into it momentarily, but not to stay in it. And if you are in this version, you can be in it for a minute, couple of minutes if it feels okay, because it is a resting version. And then of course with any kind of backward bend, we want to come out of it very gently. You may want to roll onto the side into your flapping fish, draw navel into the spine just to ease out. And you have two different ways you can come out of this. You can either bring the hands either side of the chest, push up by pulling the navel into the spine, come up onto your cat, but I prefer to do this kind of thing. I start to walk my elbows back towards my knees. I much prefer to do that coming out of the backward bend because I find it's much softer. Then my bum can settle down and then I can stretch out into my swan. and really pulling and stretching down the back. Of course, if you've had surgery, you might find that you need to keep the elbows closer to the torso, or you might even be okay in your child's. And then from there, you might want to come up and do a cat stretch. There we go. So, crocodile pose. So if you're going to do that one, as always, ahimsa, which basically means non-violence to your body. You saw me demonstrate that version, but I was straight out of it because I could feel it twinging. If you feel twinging in the lower back, then you have got to be really gentle with that. You've got to listen to what your body is telling you. The lower back is the thing that you can really start messing about with the lower back. All to do with posture, all to do with your core strength. You can do some serious damage. So please, anything to do with backward bends, forward bends, you will always be cautious with your back. Okay, bye-bye.